Hey guys, welcome to another Alice lesson on animation and coding. Now in this lesson we're going to go over on how to animate a character and then we're going to learn how to code that. So let's go add an object, do exactly what I do. Go here, click on fantasy, go to fairies. Now add any of these fairies where it's like mine with its hands by its side and it's a human, because you're gonna move its arms and its legs, and I'll tell you why. Before we start animating this, we need to understand what a pose is. A pose is like at one time your hand is up, then at one time your hand is down. And then if we put that together in an animation, your hand will go up and down, and it will just automatically move to that location. So that's what a pose is. Now, before we start making a bunch of poses, we should create a stand pose. So that way, once you have like your hand, one hand doing this and then one hand doing that, but then you want to go back to the default one and you can't because you don't know how, well then it's always good to create a stand pose because you can just go right back to it. So, click on the character, you'll see it highlighted or outlined in the box. Click on capture pose, type in stand pose, so that way you know it's a pose. And now let's go start making our walking poses. Alright, so click on affect subparts, and now we're going to affect the arms, because if we uncheck it, we'll only move the entire body, but if we do check this, it'll move some parts of the body that you click on. So when you check this, you realize it goes to tumble objects. That's a tool I don't recommend messing with, so switch it to forwards and backwards. So wait, let's move this for a bit, and then we'll move that. Move this back, and then move this part forward. And then we'll move this down. We'll make this go up, and this go down. And there you go. So we have a walk one pose. Now, before you even click this, you have to understand that if this is checked, it'll only capture the pose for that certain part that we just last clicked on or whatever. So make sure that you always uncheck affect subparts. Alright, so let's capture pose. Walk one pose. Alright, now we have a walk one pose. Let's go check that again. Change our tool, move our camera forward a bit, and then let's go move a few stuff back. Move this back, move this forward, and then move down a little bit. Oops, wrong part. See, you gotta be careful what you click on because we're using effect subparts, so you gotta be careful. Alright, then uncheck, capture pose, and do walk two pose. Let's go back a little bit. Move our camera. Let's go right there. Now we'll move it back here because we're gonna make it move toward us. So we'll do right click, methods. Now when you right click it, go to methods. There's a bunch you can do with it. It's very different from when we coded, because here this is when we're actually in the world view. So it'll only affect it in the world view at that time. It won't be part of the code at all. So we can just set pose to stay in pose and not worry about anything. And there you go. It just goes back to the default. Click on done. And now when you can say that you can just drag this all in, and then you'll see that will work. Something else right there. Alright, and then click play, and you'll see that will work. Very nice. Well, before we even start doing that, you have to understand what a method is. A method in Alice, alright, this is in Alice, not in anywhere else. It might be actually in somewhere else, but in Alice, a method in Alice is a group of code. It's a group of code that will operate only if it's called by another method or by an event. So no matter which method it's called by, it has to be called by the event. Because if you look here, when the world starts, do world on my first method. So whenever the world starts, it has to do that. Because if we just drag this out, alright, and we drag all this in, watch what happens. Nothing. It's not called by any events or other methods. So nothing will happen. There's a reason why the events is here. Remember, it's a sequential order of events that will run methods. So we have to go back here. When the world starts, do the my first method. You can say that, oh, we can just go to fidget spinners and do the walking AI. Well, once we get there, we can do any of these methods. Well, in the future in Alice, it's just much easier just to use the default method because it's already there. So yeah. So let's get rid of all this. Let's start clean and playing. And if you guys did all that, then I'm sorry. It's just I had to go over it so you guys would understand. So we need to create a new method for this. So we go to methods, create a new method. Let's call it walking. And let's name this something so that you know it's a method and not a pose and not a variable or parameter or any of that. So you can put M for method or AI. I like to put AI. Alright, so now we drag these in. And now don't click play yet, because if you're smart and you remember, then you'll know that this method, walking AI, will not work if it's not called by another event or a method that's called by event. So what we need to do is drag that method, the walking AI, into here, and then we'll see if it works. And it works, see? Just like that. So we know how to make it move, that's cool, but why don't we make it move toward us while it walks? So make sure you pay attention to this code and watch carefully. We drag in a do together, and this will do whatever is there together. It's very simple. Just whatever it says, it's basically the meaning itself. It's basically in the name. So it'll do this together. Remind me later. Sorry. We'll do this in order because we can't do two poses together of the same object, or else it'll just mess up and it won't work. And I don't think I'll show you why. I think you'll have a pretty good idea why. Alright, do that in order. And then we're going to make sure this is clicked at methods. And you'll see a bunch of different methods you can do. Move at speed, set, pose, point at, orient to. But we're just going to do the move method. So drag this in. Move. Forward. Let's do 10 meters. 10 meters won't hurt. Let's set the duration to 2 seconds. And then we'll see that the duration is 1 second. So this should work. Do an order. Alright, and now let's go set the stand pose at the end. So that way we'll sum it up pretty well. Alright, not bad. But let's split it to half. So we'll duration 0.5, duration 0.5, and then we'll make copies of it. So 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1 second. Let's go make 2 seconds now. So set this right here, and drag this one right here. So this is real. And there you go. Pretty cool, huh? So that's how you make a guy walk and use poses together with code. So that's basically animation and coding in Alice, and that's all for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a PM or leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer as best as I could. So that is all for now. Rate, comment, subscribe, check out my blog, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.